Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And it's our food unit, and today we're going to be talking about something called chickpeas, which I've seen quite frequently here in Taiwan, especially at vegetarian diners or vegetarian buffet restaurants.
Yeah.
You can get yourself a serving of chickpeas because I guess they are high in protein, which is something that vegetarians need if they're giving up meat. But I find chickpeas kind of lacking in flavor. They're kind of dry and hard, but it's what you do with them, how you cook them that makes the difference.
Yeah, I would describe them as being kind of blah tasting, B-L-A-H, just blah. No big flavor, but it's how you cook them. I didn't grow up eating chickpeas at all. I'm from the Southwest in America. But I started watching cooking shows. As some of the listeners know, I love cooking shows. And that's where I saw them being used. Now, they're much more popular in Taiwan than they are, at least in the state I grew up in, or at least the West Coast area of America. But I think they can be really tasty if you do the right things to them. Let's take a look, guys, at the title here. Fuel Your Health with Nutritious Chickpeas. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's lesson.
Right, so let's get to it, everybody. Let's listen to the entire article read from top to bottom.
Let's dig into the appealing world of chickpeas. Although some in Taiwan refer to chickpeas as snow lotus seeds, chickpeas and lotus seeds are actually from different food families. As cousins of beans, chickpeas are packed with nutrients and have gained significant popularity in numerous diets thanks to the increasing trend of health-conscious eating. Originating from the Mediterranean and the Middle East, chickpeas have graced human diets for over 7,000 years and still serve as a primary food source. The chickpea's rich history is matched by its nutritional value, as chickpeas are loaded with protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Chickpeas are particularly valuable for vegetarians, offering an excellent source of plant-based protein. Additionally, their high fiber content promotes digestion, and their low glycemic index helps maintain blood sugar levels, rendering them a superb choice for managing weight or diabetes. As for incorporating chickpeas into your meals, the options are truly diverse. You might have encountered them in a rich curry or a crunchy salad, but perhaps the most popular chickpea dish is hummus. This smooth Middle Eastern dip is made by blending mashed chickpeas with olive oil, garlic, and a sesame seed paste called tahini. You can enjoy it as a spread on bread, a dip for vegetables, or even as a tasty pasta sauce substitute. Next time you're looking to add variety to your diet or simply fancy trying something new, give chickpeas a shot. These small, humble, yet mighty ingredients boast both considerable health benefits and cooking flexibility. Let's dive in, guys. Let's look at the title first. If you fuel something, you give something some sort of energy to get it going. We put fuel in our cars. If you want to make your body have more energy, you give it some food. Food is fuel. So we're going to fuel our health or your health with nutritious chickpeas. If something's nutritious, it's really good for your body. A lot of times we spend too much time eating from fast food restaurants or eating too many snack foods, especially if you go to a lot of those convenience stores. There's really not a lot in there that's actually very nutritious or healthy, but sometimes you don't have enough time and you have to go pick something up at a fast food restaurant or convenience store. But here we're talking about something that's really nutritious and good for your health.
Right. If something's nutritious, it has a lot of nutrients in it, so it's good for your health. And here in the first paragraph, it says, let's dig into the appealing world of chickpeas. So remember, when you make a suggestion to someone, you can say this, let's do this. Hey, let's go to the beach today, or let's go see a movie, etc. And in this particular case, we're suggesting enjoying chickpeas. Let's dig in to the appealing world of chickpeas. Also, the phrase dig in does refer to beginning eating. Hey, dig in. You can start eating now.
Yeah, everybody dig in. It's kind of it's more informal to say that, but it's kind of a fun thing if you're in a group. You don't want them to wait. Maybe sometimes your food starts getting cold while everyone's being served. And so maybe the host will say, hey, everybody just dig in, don't wait. So it's an appealing world, something that's attractive to people. A lot of people like chickpeas. So although some in Taiwan refer to chickpeas as snow lotus seeds, translate that into Mandarin Chinese, that's what you get, snow lotus seeds. A lotus is that very popular flower that you find over here a lot in Asia. It's beautiful. So that's what the translation for chickpeas is in Chinese. And chickpeas and lotus seeds are actually from different food families.
Exactly. I've heard the term eagle mouth bean for chickpeas here in Taiwan, and I'm sure you thought of mentioning this. Chickpeas also can be referred to as garbanzo beans. And I had to know that because many years ago I did try to make my own hummus sauce. It was a pretty simple recipe. It wasn't that difficult to do, but we will talk about that later on in the lesson. And the recipe called for garbanzo beans or chickpeas. Again, they're the same thing.
They are.
And again, chickpeas and lotus seeds, however, are actually from different food families, so don't confuse the two. And as cousins of beans, chickpeas are packed with nutrients and have gained significant popularity in numerous diets thanks to the increasing trend of health-conscious eating. So as cousins of beans, because they're related to beans, they're part of the same food family, chickpeas are packed with nutrients. And also they have gained popularity in numerous diets, okay? So yes, indeed, they are packed with nutrients. They have lots of nutrients in them, or we could say they are highly nutritious, and they have become popular, or they have gained in popularity in various diets. So your diet, of course, is your program for yourself regarding the kind of food you eat. Is it a high-protein diet, or is it a high-vegetable diet, high-meat diet, etc.?
Yeah, a lot of times people think that if we say diet, someone's trying to lose weight. But that's only one definition of diet. Diet just could be what you eat. Mostly, most of the time, what's your diet like? Is it high in protein, low carb? What's your diet? So, yeah, we're going to be talking about how these chickpeas are used in people's diets. I wanted to mention, when you see the word legume, L-E-G-U-M-E, that is a word for bean. And you'll often hear people, at least on American or English-speaking shows, who will talk about legumes. Those are just beans, and we've got lots of different kinds of beans around the world. So they came from the Mediterranean and the Middle East. You'll see a lot of these chickpeas used in Middle Eastern food. There are some new restaurants, and maybe not some that are not so new restaurants, at least in Taipei, that are Mediterranean based. They've got a lot of Middle Eastern dishes, and you'll often have a choice of getting the chickpeas or hummus or even the tahini sauce. I'll get salad sometimes, and they'll have the tahini sauce on top. So it's very popular here in Taiwan. I'm sure most of our listeners have tasted it at least once.
Right, and of course, as you know, everybody around the world is getting fatter and fatter, and they aren't as healthy as they used to be, so people have these health-conscious diets in which they're trying to cut out bad food, maybe eat fewer carbohydrates and eat more vegetables and things like that. And, of course, chickpeas are part of those diets because they're healthy for you, they're good for you, and they can help you improve your health. Now, here in the next paragraph it says, originating from the Mediterranean And the Middle East, chickpeas have graced human diets for over 7,000 years and still serve as a primary food source. So to originate means to come from, so these beans come from the Mediterranean Sea area, the countries around the Mediterranean, Italy, Greece, Turkey, Libya, Algeria, etc. Those are all countries around the Mediterranean. And they also come from the Middle East, which would be Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Lebanon, etc. Those are all countries in the Middle East. And they have graced human diets for over 7,000 years. Now, grace here is interesting because it's being used as a verb. That just means to provide someone pleasure or the benefit of its presence, okay? So, for example, we could say that you weren't expecting Joe to show up at your wedding, and you could say, hey, Joe, I didn't expect you to grace us with your presence. I didn't expect you to come to our wedding today. You said you had something else to do.
We often use it in a sarcastic way. If you have a friend like yours, Tom, that just kind of showed up, thanks for gracing us with your presence. We're so honored to have you. Here, as Tom said, it's something that actually makes something more attractive, more appealing. So they have graced human diets or been part of a human diet for over 7,000 years and still serve as a primary food source. Primary food sources would be like wheat in the West and rice here in Asia. And some places, this is a primary food source, the chickpeas. They've got a rich history, and it's matched by its nutritional value. We've already talked about how they're very healthy for you. And these chickpeas are loaded with protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. They seem to have it all. We're going to talk more about how healthy they are, but I know that at least a couple of my friends who are vegetarians, they do try to find places that serve chickpeas because it's an easier way to get protein without having to overeat.
Yeah, there's a chain of national vegetarian buffets here in Taiwan. I can't give them free advertising here, but they often have a chickpea dish available for people to choose from. And I help myself sometimes when I go to vegetarian buffets. But as we said before, they are a little hard and they're kind of blah. They're kind of
tasteless.
Bland.
Yeah,
bland. That was the word I was looking for. But again, you can cook them with other ingredients and they can be quite tasty. And we'll talk about the chickpeas' nutritional value in just a couple of seconds. But right now we're going to take a break and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello everyone, 我是派老师。今天讲解的课程是寒假合刊 Unit 3，Fuel Your Health with Nutritious Chickpeas。这个单元是一篇克漏字测验，内容和鹰嘴豆有关。喜欢吃印度料理的听众，对于这项食材应该不陌生。不过，这项食材到底有哪些特点，大家未必清楚。如果有听众吃素的话，其实鹰嘴豆会是很好的植物蛋白来源，里面纤维质也有很高的含量，可以促进消化。好，那我们现在一起来解这篇克漏字测验。请同学看到第一段，我们深入了解鹰嘴豆世界吧，这是第一句所说的。台湾有些人把鹰嘴豆称为雪莲子，不过鹰嘴豆和莲子实际上来自不同的食物家族。鹰嘴豆是豆类的近亲，富含营养。接着是第一题的题干 and have gained significant， 第一题的空格 in numerous diets。 我们看这一题4个选项全部都是名词，这一题测验的是词汇。那我们就一起看看这4个选项。A. Mortality 死亡 B. Popularity 受欢迎 C. Similarity 相似 D. Curiosity 好奇心。依照词语搭配 gain 加上 popularity 表示受到欢迎，和上下文的语义最契合，因此第一题选 B. Popularity， 意思是注重健康的饮食趋势增加，鹰嘴豆因而在许多饮食当中广受欢迎。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. It's our food unit, and we're going to spend some time talking about nutritious chickpeas, or as they're also called in America at least, garbanzo beans. I don't usually see these fresh. I've only seen them sold in cans. Maybe I'm shopping at the wrong places, but at least here in Taiwan, I wanted to try to make some hummus myself at home. And I found a can of garbanzo beans or chickpeas in the canned food section, and that's how I first started eating them. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. I didn't grow up with a lot of Middle Eastern food, so it's been fun to kind of discover that here. We talked about how they're nutritious. They've got lots of protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. So if you've got fiber, it's something that your body doesn't easily digest, but helps your system move the rest of your food through your system so that you can get rid of all the stuff you don't need. So a lot of people say you should eat a lot of fiber. Vitamins, of course, can keep you healthy if you're not getting enough vitamins. Nowadays, even our food that we buy in the produce department doesn't have as many vitamins and minerals because our soil is not as good as it used to be. So sometimes it's good to take a multivitamin. And then minerals, we also need those. Things like iron, that's very important. Magnesium, that's very important for you to stay healthy and on top of your game.
Exactly. So chickpeas contain all these things, and chickpeas are particularly valuable for vegetarians. A vegetarian is a person who abstains from eating meat. They don't eat meat for whatever reasons.
And fish.
And fish as well. Some people consider a fish diet to be vegetarian as well. I don't myself.
Those are pescatarian.
Right. But yeah, sometimes you say, oh, I'm a vegetarian. Oh, do you eat fish? Well, if I ate fish, I wouldn't be a vegetarian. Vegetarians are supposed to not eat anything that has eyes, as a friend of mine said.
That's gross.
So in any case, these are valuable for vegetarians because they offer an excellent source of plant-based protein. Okay, most people don't have a problem with getting protein in their diet because they can get it from meat if you're a meat eater. But if you give up eating meat, if you're a Buddhist or something, you're going to have trouble getting protein in your diet. So you need to find some substitutes like beans or garbanzo beans or chickpeas.
Right. That name that I used earlier, pescatarian, is someone who is mostly vegetarian, but they do include fish and seafood in their diet. I have a friend that is now pescatarian. Fish is good for you, so I was glad to see her adopt that diet. I need to eat more fish. But anyway, they are healthy, and it's very valuable for vegetarians to have a source of chickpeas because they offer that excellent source of plant-based protein as opposed to animal-based protein. Additionally, their high fiber content promotes digestion. Digestion is just the system or what your body does with food. So you eat, your body takes in that food, then it has to break it down so that it can use the various things found in that food like protein and fiber and vitamins and minerals. That is the process of digestion. You digest food. Tom, they also have a low glycemic index. You talk about that some more.
Well, that's a term you need to know if you're a diabetic. It's basically a scale from 1 to 100 based on how these foods affect the blood sugar level if you're diabetic or whatever. So if you are a diabetic, you need to pay attention to those sorts of things. And this particular food has a low glycemic index. In other words, it's not going to give you a spike in blood sugar. So it's probably something that diabetes people or diabetics, yeah, my goodness, I couldn't think of the word. Something that diabetics need to pay attention to, so it might be part of their diet as well. Index, of course, just refers to some numbers here, so it's just a range of numbers from 1 to 100 that indicate the amount of sugar in a type of food or its effect on blood sugar, basically, or how much it produces it. And, of course, it helps maintain those blood sugar levels, keeping them nice and low or not getting too high or not too low. And again, they're rendered a superb choice for managing weight or diabetes. So to render here just means to make something into a certain form. This term is used in computer science a lot. If you have a program and you need to change it into something else, you need to render that thing. Let it go through some sort of process to make it, say, into a video or something. You need to render all the information. And in this particular case, the garbanzo beans or the chickpeas are rendered as a superb choice for managing weight. So it's a great choice, a superb choice if you want to lose weight or if you don't want to get really fat, and if you want to control your diabetes.
I wanted to mention for index, we use this if you're into business and investing in the stock market. You'll see the Dow Jones Industrial Index. An index in that, at least in that sort of arena, just means you have a system that the changes in the value of things are all measured or recorded or interpreted on the same scale. You'll see the FTSE 100. That's the stock market over there in England or UK. So you'll see that sometimes there. Or if you go to the library, there's an index, an alphabetical list of books that you can look up and see where they're located in the library. Here, of course, it's that glycemic index. I have to say, if you're not diabetic but you want to lose weight, if you can stay and keep that index lower, the glycemic index lower, you'll lose weight. So that's a little tip for those out there who are low-carbing it or going on a low-carb diet. So if you incorporate chickpeas into your meals, the options are truly diverse. Options here just is another word for choices. So you've got a lot of choices if you want to incorporate or bring that particular vegetable into your diet.
Exactly. So as you said, not only diabetics can benefit from eating chickpeas, but regular folks can as well.
Oh, yeah.
Now, moving on now to the next paragraph, it says, as for incorporating chickpeas into your meals, the options are truly diverse. So if you want to think about how you can include them as part of your meal, how you can incorporate them in your diet, well, you've got lots of options. Okay, an option is a choice. There are lots of things you can do with chickpeas. You might have encountered them in a rich curry or a crunchy salad. But perhaps the most popular chickpea dish is hummus. Yes, if you've been to the many Indian restaurants in Taiwan, they probably offer an item on their menu that includes chickpeas. And so it's going to be a curry dish that has chickpeas in it. You can choose that if you want a healthy dish there. And yes, you will encounter chickpeas in a rich curry or in a crunchy salad. So to encounter just means to come across something, to find something.
Yeah, maybe you don't have plans to encounter or come across something, but you run into it. So you've got curries that are out there, crunchy salads. But as Tom said, the most popular chickpea dish is hummus. It's a smooth Middle Eastern dip. A dip is like a creamy mix of different flavors. They usually use either chickpeas or maybe sour cream sometimes as a base. And you just put a vegetable, you kind of dunk it in there, dip it in there. Dip is both a noun and a verb. And they make this hummus by blending or putting together smashed or mashed, similar word, mashed chickpeas. You want to just put a lot of pressure on them so they turn into a kind of a smooth mixture. And then olive oil, garlic, and sesame seed paste called tahini, which I talked about earlier. You can enjoy it as a spread, just putting it on bread, dipping your vegetables in it, or some people use it as a pasta sauce substitute.
Interesting idea. And finally, next time you're looking to add variety to your diet or simply fancy trying something new, give chickpeas a shot. So yes, indeed, if you want to add variety to your diet, or if you like something new, then you should try chickpeas. These small, humble, yet mighty ingredients boast both considerable health benefits and cooking flexibility. So they have these things. They're beneficial to your health, and you can cook them in many different ways. Flexibility just refers to how many different ways you can use something or do something with flexibility. You want to have good flexibility in your body if you want to do yoga, for example. If you want to move your body in various directions, you need to be flexible or you need to have lots of flexibility.
Okay, guys, it's time to listen one more time to our Chinese teacher.
接着，请看到第二题，请看到第二段。第二题题干前面的句子，指出鹰嘴豆对于吃素的人来说特别有价值，提供他们非常好的植物蛋白质。接着是第二题的题干本身，空格之后 ，Their high fiber content promotes digestion 这个部分。好，我们看4个选项也都全部是副词，因此第二题也是词汇题。我们一起看这4个选项的中文意思。A. Eventually 最后 B. Hopefully 但愿 C. Consequently 所以 D. Additionally 此外。我们看第二题空格之后的句子是什么意思，才能够判断这一题应该要用什么词汇连接前后2个句子。空格之后提到鹰嘴豆纤维含量高，可以促进消化，升糖指数低，有助于维持血糖平稳，因此是控制体重或糖尿病的最佳选择。以上所说的这些都是鹰嘴豆对身体健康的好处，所以第二题选 D Additionally 此外。那再来请同学看到第3题，选项全部都是片语，类似于词汇题，要用上下文判断文意，找出最适合的选项。我们一起看这4个选项的中文意思。A. On top of 表示除了什么以外还有怎么样的东西。再来 B. In spite of 表示尽管。C. As for 表示至于。D. Up to 是表示高达多少。好，到这里呢，我们看出前文没有提到的新话题，表示至于要如何将鹰嘴豆融入餐点当中，这里选择非常的多样。第3题呢，我们选择 C as for， 可以带出前文没有提到的这个新的话题，就表示说，那关于要如何把鹰嘴豆放到我们自己的饮食当中，其实呢有很多的选择。好，再来我们一起看到第4题。前一句提到你可能在浓郁的咖喱或爽脆的沙拉当中曾经偶然发现过，但也许最受欢迎的鹰嘴豆菜肴是 hummus 鹰嘴豆泥这道菜。接着是第4题的题干，就是从 The Smooth Middle Eastern Dip 开始。好，那我们发现同样的4个选项词性是相同的，所以一样是词汇题。我们看它们的中文意思。A. Blending with 是混合。B. Connecting to 连接。C. Investing in 是投资。而 D. Suing for 是对谁提告。那我们看到前后文最契合的选项是 A。第4题应该选 A. Blending with，表示这种中东的滑顺蘸酱是透过把捣碎的鹰嘴豆还有橄榄油、大蒜，还有一种名为 tahini 的中东芝麻酱混合而成。最后我们看到第4段，下次你想要有点饮食变化，或者只是单纯想尝试新的菜色，都可以试试鹰嘴豆。接着是第5题的题干，第5题的4个选项全部都是形容词，所以一样是词汇题。我们看看它们的意思。A. Optimistic 乐观的。B. Considerable 很多的。C. Truthful 真实的。D. Expressive 充满表现力的。从前后文判断4个选项当中， B 最符合前后文意，表示这些小小不起眼的食材不仅具有相当多健康益处，也很容易入菜。第5题应该选 B. Considerable。好，以上是我们针对这一篇克漏字测验所做的中文解题，谢谢。
That's it for today, guys. Thanks for joining us. And we hope you all get a chance, if you haven't tried it yet, to try out some chickpeas somewhere. And maybe just add it into your, normal diet and maybe even get a little bit healthier, which is good for all of us. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Tom. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.